Dr. Nardi here, back with another video. I want to start with a story. Imagine a young man named Christopher. From a young age, he could never seem to recognize when he had eaten enough. He ate constantly, sometimes even taking food from the garbage at school. Despite interventions from his family, his uncontrollable appetite led to severe obesity, and he passed away at the age of 28. Weighing 500 pounds. Christopher suffered from a rare genetic disorder called Prader-Willi syndrome, but his story forces us to ask a fundamental question. What is motivation, and what drives a behavior as essential as eating? That's the core of Chapter 6. We will explore the forces that initiate, sustain, and direct our behaviors, especially those that regulate our internal states. So, what is motivation? It's the set of factors that set in motion our behaviors. Psychologists have proposed several theories to explain it. Instinct theory suggested that complex behaviors like aggression or parenting were automatic, unlearned instincts. However, this theory often just named behaviors without truly explaining their cause, and most psychologists now believe that in humans, learning has largely replaced instincts. Drive theory is a key concept for today. It suggests that the body strives to maintain homeostasis, a state of balance or equilibrium. When we deviate from this balance, like when we're low on nutrients, it creates a drive, an aroused condition that impels us to act, for instance, to eat. Think of it like your home thermostat. It has a set point, and when the temperature deviates, the system kicks on to restore balance. Incentive theory recognizes that we are also motivated by external stimuli or incentives. The smell of a steak grilling can make you hungry even if you're not in a state of nutrient deficit. Arousal theory helps explain why someone might jump out of an airplane for fun. It proposes that we are motivated to maintain a preferred or optimal level of arousal. This can explain behaviors like sensation seeking, which finds expression in everything from travel to risky behaviors. While these theories have their merits, today we'll focus on the homeostatic drives, viewing them as states of the brain rather than just tissue conditions. Let's look at two straightforward examples of homeostasis. Endothermic animals, like us, use energy to maintain a constant internal body temperature. The brain's main thermostat is located in the preoptic area of the hypothalamus. This area has warmth-sensitive and cold-sensitive cells that monitor blood temperature and receive signals from the skin. It then initiates automatic responses like sweating to cool down or shivering to warm up. Maintaining water balance is critical. We experience two types of thirst. Osmotic thirst occurs when the fluid inside our cells decreases, often after eating salty food. This is detected primarily by the organum vasculosum lamina terminalis, which borders the third ventricle. The OVLT then communicates with the median preoptic nucleus of the hypothalamus to trigger thirst. Hypovolemic thirst happens when blood volume drops due to a loss of extracellular water, like from sweating or blood loss. This is detected by pressure receptors in the heart, which send signals to the nucleus of the solitary tract in the medulla, and then on to the median preoptic nucleus. Receptors in the kidneys also detect low blood volume and trigger the release of angiotensin II, which stimulates another brain structure near the third ventricle, the subfornical organ. And how do we know when to stop drinking? We stop long before our cells are rehydrated. Recent studies show that the act of drinking itself sends signals to the brain. Neurons in the subfornical organ that activate thirst are inhibited with the very first lick of water, anticipating the rehydration to come. Hunger is far more complex than thirst. It involves the need for a variety of nutrients, and its set point is highly variable. A key part of hunger is choosing what to eat, which brings us to the role of taste or gustation. We have 5 primary taste sensations: sour, sweet, bitter, salty, and umami, which is a meaty or savory taste. These tastes are not random. They guide us toward essential nutrients and away from toxins. Sweet signals carbohydrates. Salty provides necessary ions. Umami helps us select proteins. Sour and bitter warn us of spoiled or toxic foods. Taste information travels from taste buds on the tongue to the nucleus of the solitary tract in the medulla, then through the thalamus, and finally to the insula, the primary taste area in the frontal lobes. Taste contributes to dietary selection in 3 important ways. Sensory-specific satiety means the more you eat of a particular food, the less appealing it becomes, encouraging a varied and balanced diet. This process takes place in the NST. Learned taste aversion is the avoidance of foods that have been associated with illness. It's why you might not be able to stomach a food that once made you sick. Learned taste preference is a preference for the flavor of a food that contains a needed nutrient, which we learn because it makes us feel better. Our body operates in 2 metabolic phases. For a few hours after a meal, our body runs on the nutrients being absorbed from the digestive system. The pancreas secretes insulin, a hormone that allows body cells to take up glucose for energy and helps store excess nutrients. Glucose is stored short-term as glycogen, and any remaining glucose, along with fats and amino acids, is converted to fat and stored in adipose tissue. When blood glucose drops, the body enters the fasting phase and relies on its stored energy. The pancreas secretes glucagon, which converts stored glycogen back into glucose for the brain to use. It also breaks down fats for the rest of the body. So, what signals the brain to start or stop a meal? Low glucose and low fatty acids are monitored by the liver, which signals the nucleus of the solitary tract via the vagus nerve. Ghrelin, a hormone synthesized in the stomach, is released when the stomach is empty. Ghrelin levels rise before meals and drop sharply after, suggesting it helps initiate eating. These signals converge on the arcuate nucleus of the hypothalamus. This structure contains neurons that, when stimulated by hunger signals, release neuropeptide Y and agouti-related protein. These transmitters excite the paraventricular nucleus and the lateral hypothalamus, which increases eating and reduces metabolism. Signals to end a meal include receptors in the stomach wall that send a signal of fullness to the NST via the vagus nerve. Cholecystokinin is a peptide hormone released from the duodenum in response to fats, and it signals the brain to reduce the size of the meal. Peptide YY is released by the intestines and travels to the arcuate nucleus, where it inhibits the NPY releasing neurons, suppressing caloric intake for up to 12 hours. Leptin is a crucial long-term signal. It is a hormone secreted by fat cells, and its level in the blood is proportional to the amount of body fat. Like PYY and insulin, leptin inhibits the NPY and AGRP neurons in the arcuate nucleus, putting the brakes on feeding. When this complex regulatory system goes wrong, it can lead to serious health issues like obesity and eating disorders. The worldwide obesity rate has tripled in women and doubled in men since 1975, and it is now considered a global epidemic. Obesity is a major risk factor for diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and even cognitive decline. What causes obesity? The simple answer is an imbalance of energy in versus energy out, but the causes are complex. Heredity for BMI is estimated to be between 0.47 and 0.90, showing a strong genetic component. Genes like the FTO gene and the MC4R gene can increase the risk of obesity by influencing calorie intake. The environment also plays a huge role through factors like diet, activity level, sleep deprivation, and even viral or bacterial infections that can alter metabolism. Environmental influences can also cause epigenetic changes, heritable traits resulting from modifications of gene expression that affect weight. Basal metabolic rate accounts for about 75% of our daily energy expenditure, and heredity accounts for about 40% of the differences in a BMR among people. Furthermore, when a person diets, the body defends against weight loss by reducing its metabolism. Treatments for obesity range from diet and exercise to medications and bariatric surgery, such as gastric bypass, which can produce significant and lasting weight loss by altering digestive hormones like ghrelin and PYY. On the other end of the spectrum are disorders like anorexia nervosa, the starving disease, and bulimia nervosa, characterized by binging and purging. Binge eating disorder involves frequent, large meals without any attempt to control weight. These disorders also have strong genetic links and are associated with dysregulation of neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and cannabinoids. As we've seen today, motivation is not a simple matter of willpower. Behaviors like eating are governed by an incredibly complex network of signals from our body and our brain, shaped by genetics and sculpted by our environment. Understanding these mechanisms is the first step toward treating the debilitating disorders that arise when this delicate balance is lost. Please like, subscribe, and share. I will see you in the next video.